Thank you so much, Gerard. Dear Madam Rajavi, dear former colleagues and colleagues, I really wish you all the success. I think this is a cause we can never fail, and I am very confident that you will succeed. And let me also speak to our dear friends that are in the Liberty Camp and that are now facing a renewed campaign by the Iranian authorities. All this structure of psychological torture of the Iranian secret services, of loudspeakers, of agents that are supposed to be relatives that are pressing and torturing them on a daily basis. But we should as well understand that this is not an isolated case. I was absolutely flabbergasted when I saw the Secretary of State of the United States congratulating the Iranian aviation for bombarding ISIS. Actually, what the Iranian aviation has been doing, and I have extensive personal reports on this, is that they have been barrel bombing entire cities like Tikrit, absolutely destroying everything and not allowing no civilian over there. Is this fight against ISIS? This is exactly the opposite. This is to give Sunni Arabs a reason to support ISIS. This is no fight against ISIS. And then we have in this last weekend, and dear friend Gerard, I would really like to call your attention because I was driving into Belgium, into Brussels, and I was listening to the Belgium Francophone radio, and then I was hearing, of this major success of the Syrian army in the airport of Dar ez-Zur. And, just as a footnote, they said, well, and actually the Syrian army chlorinated ISIS. I was taken aback, chlorinated. And yet, this was done last Sunday. The Syrian army once again used chemical weapons against their opponents, this time not against children, presumably in the surroundings of Damascus, as they have been extensively doing. There are hundreds of cases where they have been using these chemical weapons, but against ISIS. And not a word about that from no one. Quite on the contrary, we got this very, high level, this report on the CIA tortures that has 6,000 documents and 500 pages and documents something that is very unfortunate, and most of the people that are following the situation knew for a very long time. Actually, Dick Cheney did not make much secret about it. He was more or less obvious on what he was doing. And of course, this is a shame. But what is happening here, I would like you to understand, is much more shameful, because the United States had sponsored an agreement by which Syria would have long ago gotten rid of all chemical weapons. And now it's public, it's clear. They have not got rid of these weapons, they are using them. Now, of course, in the name of ISIS, it's the fight against ISIS. But we all know how it works. Today it is ISIS, tomorrow it will be again, as it has been a lot of times, the children from Syria, from Iraq, from Lebanon, from Iran proper. And this is a crime against humanity. This is much worse violation of human rights than whatever else. So I would like to say to the United States administration, they should better not close their eyes in front of this. Because speaking about what happened 10 years ago in Guantanamo is no way to excuse what is happening in our day. This is absolutely impossible to understand and to accept. Because, of course, ISIS are monsters. They are. I have been last week, I came from Iraq. I came from the refugee camps of Yazidis in the surroundings of Dahuk, from Sinjar, people coming from the Sinjar mountains. I interviewed, girls of 15 years old that had been kidnapped and enslaved. And actually, they have been turned like cattle in the market. They have been in Raqqa. They have been in Mosul. They have been everywhere. And they have been returned to a sort of concentration camps that are still, in our day, being held for women and children in villages very close to Sinjar, very close to the front line of the Peshmerga, by the way. And I know ISIS, they are absolutely monsters. No doubts about that. But this is not an excuse to whitening the chemical weapons, the chemical destruction of people. We should never allow this to happen. This is a big lie we are facing, that in the name of the fight against ISIS, we should allow all this. We should not. The fight against ISIS has to be done differently. Of course, with military means as well. No question about that. But the main thing is not there. The main thing is to understand the ideology, this fanatic ideology, that is coming out of Tehran. Tehran is really the center of this ideology. This is the main struggle, and I am very, very happy to be here with the most courageous, the most truthful people I've ever met in my political life. Thank you.